Good day. I am here now to discuss the graph of a polynomial function, specifically the end behavior of the graph of a polynomial function. Or how can we graph the polynomial function based on its end behavior? Learning competency. At the end of the lesson, the student must be able to draw or sketch the graph of a polynomial function based on its leading coefficient and degree. But before we proceed to that lesson, we must first let us take a review on the following. This will make us help to easily understand our lesson. The degree, the leading term, and the leading coefficient. Para sa ating review, samahan natin si Bernard sa kanyang adventure or The Adventures of Bernard. Si Bernard ay isang mountain climber o hiker. Gusto niya ang pag-akyat sa iba't ibang bulubundukin. May napapansin ba kayo sa larawan? Pamilyar ba kayo sa larawan? Tama. Ito ang mga bulubundukin sa Rizal. Specifically dito sa Montalban, ang Mount Pamintinan at Mount Binakayan. Sa pagitan ng dalawang bundok na ito, diyan natin matatagpuan ang Wawa Dam, ang historical na Wawa Dam. Samahan natin sa paglalakbay si Bernard. Sa kanyang paglalakbay, nakita niya ang isa ring hiker na si Micaela. Tara, tulungan natin si Bernard upang makatawid at makarating niya at makasama si Micaela. Suriin natin ang given polynomial function. Ano ang degree? Degree is the highest valued exponent of the polynomial function. Base sa definition, matutukoy mo ba kung ano ang degree ng given polynomial function? Tama, ang degree natin or n is equals to 4. Dahil sa lahat ng exponent ng ating polynomial function, 4 ang pinaka-highest exponent. Ayan, umusad na si Bernard sa kanyang paglalakbay. Ano naman ang leading term? Leading term is the term with the highest exponent. Alin ba sa mga term dito sa ating given polynomial function ang may highest exponent? Tama, it is 3x raised to 4. So ito ang term natin na may highest exponent. Ipagpatuloy natin ang paglalakbay sa pamamagitan ng tatlong tanong. What is the leading coefficient? Leading coefficient, it is the numerical coefficient of the leading term. Ang leading term natin kanina is 3x raised to 4. Sabi dito, numerical coefficient of the leading term. What is the leading term? Or what is the leading coefficient? Correct, it is 3. Ayan. Nakasama na ni Bernard si Mary Micaela. And they hike happily ever after. Pagmasdan natin ang landas na tinahak ni Bernard upang marating niya at makasama si Micaela, Mary Micaela. May napapansin ba kayo sa mga linya? Sa linya? Okay. Ito ay isang graph ng polynomial function. Ilagay natin siya sa Cartesian plane. At ilagay na rin natin siya sa graph. So, ayan na. So, makikita natin, pakurba-kurba, graph of a polynomial function. So, let's go now to our topic, main topic, which is graph of a polynomial functions, specifically the end behavior of the graph of a polynomial function. So, let's do this activity. The graph is defined by y is equal to 2x raised to 3 minus 7x squared minus 7x plus 2. Let's check. Let's analyze the given polynomial function. What is the leading coefficient of the polynomial function? Sabi natin kanina, leading coefficient is the numerical coefficient of the leading term. Ang ating leading term is 2x raised to 3. Therefore, ating leading coefficient is 2. Very good. Is the leading coefficient a negative or a positive number? 2 is a positive number. What is the degree of the polynomial function? Sabi natin, ang degree is the highest exponent of the given polynomial function. The highest exponent is, we have the exponents are 3, 2, and 1. Therefore, the highest exponent is 3. Very good. Therefore, the degree is 3. Is the degree an odd or an even number? 3 is an odd number. Now, let us observe the end behavior of the graph on both sides, whether it is falling or rising to the left or right. This is the graph of the given polynomial function y is equal to 2x raised to 3 minus 7x squared minus 7x plus 2, that which has a positive leading coefficient and the degree odd or odd degree or PO. So anong papansin natin sa graph? Is it rising or falling to the left or right? Very good. It is falling to the left and rising to the right. Gawin naman natin itong activity 2. The graph is defined by y is equal to negative 2x raised to 5 plus 3x raised to 4 plus x raised to 3 minus 7x squared plus 4. Y is equal to negative 2x raised to 5 plus 3x raised to 4 plus x cubed minus 7x squared plus 4. What is the leading coefficient of the polynomial function? The leading coefficient is negative 2. Dahil ito yung ating leading term. So the leading coefficient is negative 2. Is the leading coefficient a negative or a positive number? Obviously, negative 2 is a negative number. What is the degree of the polynomial function? Sabi natin kanina, degree is the highest exponent. The highest exponent is 5. So therefore, the degree is 5. Is the degree an odd or even number? 5 is an odd number. Very good. Now let us observe the behavior of the graph of both sides. Is it falling or rising to the left or to the right? This is the graph of the given polynomial function with negative leading coefficient and odd degree. So, mapapansin natin. So it is rising to the left and falling to the right. Very good. Activity 3. The graph is defined by y is equals to x raised to 4 minus 7x squared plus 6x. Let us analyze this given polynomial function. What is the leading coefficient of the polynomial function? We have the leading coefficient is 1 because the leading term is x raised to 4 and the coefficient, pag walang nakalagay na leading coefficient or numerical coefficient, ang isang variable, automatic ang numerical coefficient niya is 1. Since this is the leading term, therefore 1 is the leading coefficient. Is the leading coefficient a negative or a positive number? So 1 is positive number. What is the degree of the polynomial function? Again, degree is the highest exponent. The highest exponent is 4. So the degree is 4. Is the degree an odd or an even number? So 4 is an even number. So again, let us observe the end behavior of the graph on both sides, whether it's falling or rising to the left or right. So this is the graph of the given polynomial function with leading coefficient which is positive and the degree which is even. So anong napansin natin? Correct. It is rising to the left and also rising to the right. So the graph is rising to the left and rising to the right. So let's have the activity 4. The graph is defined by y is equal to negative x raised to 4 plus 2x raised to 3 plus 13x squared minus 14x minus 24. Susuriin natin ang ating given polynomial function. What is the leading coefficient of the polynomial function? So the leading coefficient is negative 1 because the leading term is negative x raised to 4. So therefore, the leading coefficient is negative 1. Is the leading coefficient a positive or a negative or a positive number? So obviously, negative 1 is a negative number. What is the degree of the polynomial function? So the degree is 4. Very good. Because 4 is the highest exponent. Is the degree an odd or even number? Obviously, 4 is an even number. And now again, let us observe the end behavior of the graph on both sides. Is it falling or rising to the left or to the right? So this is the graph of the given polynomial function with negative leading coefficient and even degree or NE. So anong napansin natin sa graph? Anong behavior ng graph natin? Correct. It is falling to the left and also falling to the right. So therefore, if we have a polynomial function with leading coefficient negative and even degree, the graph is falling to the left and falling to the right, or both falling left or right and right. So based on the activity, so let's summarize our activities. So in case 1 natin, if the leading coefficient is positive and the degree is odd or PO, the graph is falling to the left and rising to the right, like this picture or graph natin. Falling to the left, rising to the right. Case number 2. If the leading coefficient is negative and the degree is odd or NO, the graph is rising to the left and falling to the right, like this. Rising to the left, then falling to the right. Next is case number 3. If the leading coefficient is positive and the degree is even, so the graph is rising to the left and rising to the right. So this is an example of the graph of a polynomial function with positive leading coefficient and degree is even, both rising to the right and left and right. Case number 4, if the leading coefficient is negative and the degree is even, the graph is falling to the left and falling to the right. They are both falling to the left and to the right. So we can also add this following observation. So these two graphs or numerical coefficient, these two polynomial function has a positive leading coefficient. And tingnan natin kung ano ang common sa kanilang dalawa. So, very good. Ang common sa kanila ay they are both rising to the right. So, therefore, if you have a leading coefficient which is positive, lagi siyang rising to the right. So, the behavior of the graph with positive leading coefficient is always rising to the right. So, let us observe naman itong dalawang graph of a polynomial function. Ang polynomial function, meron silang parehas na negative leading coefficient. Ano naman ang common sa kanilang dalawa? Very good. Ang common sa kanila is they are both falling to the right. So ito, una, falling to the left, falling to the right. Ito naman, rising to the left, falling to the right. So they are both falling to the right. So therefore, if the leading coefficient of a polynomial function is always negative, it is always falling to the right. Whether yung degree niya is even or odd. Basta negative ang leading coefficient, falling to the right yan. Next. So ito na, the behavior of the graph with negative leading coefficient is always falling to the right. Next, tingnan natin yung dalawang graph ng polynomial function. So, tingnan muna natin yung polynomial function natin. Ano ang common? They are both has a odd degree. Parang silang may degree na odd. So ano naman ang common sa kanilang dalawa? Parang wala, no? So actually, yung behavior ng magkabilang end nila ang parehas sa kanila. So ito, parehas rising to the left and falling to the right. Ito naman, baliktad. Falling to the left and rising to the right. So, ibig sabihin, opposite lagi. Magkabilang end. So kung sa dito ay rising, sa kabila naman ay falling. Kung dito ay falling, sa kabila naman ay rising. So, therefore, if you have the behavior of the graph with odd degree is always different in opposite ends. Kung kapag may odd degree ka, so kapag sa left ay rising, sa kabila naman ay falling. Sa left ay falling, sa kabila naman ay rising. So, yun ang behavior ng graph with odd degree. Ito naman. So, we have, tingnan naman natin yung equation natin. Ang common naman sa kanya is, meron silang parehas even na degree. So, ano naman sa tingin nyo ang common sa kanila? Ang common sa kanila, sa graph natin is, meron silang parehas ang direksyon ng kanilang magkabilang end. So parehas, for example, sa number 1, sa nasa taas na picture, they are both falling. And then, sa kabila naman ay both rising. So kapag may even na degree ka, it's either both falling kapag negative yung leading coefficient or both rising kapag positive yung leading coefficient. So the end behavior of the graph with even degree are the same on both ends, whether it is rising to the left or right or falling to the left and to the right. So exercises tayo. So tingnan natin kung mas kung naunawaan niyo yung ating discussion. So identify the picture, try to find a graph of a polynomial function, observe its behavior and identify whether its leading coefficient is positive or negative and its degree whether it's odd or even. Ayan. Meron tayong larawan. Anong nakikita natin sa larawan? Ito ay isang rail ng isang roller coaster ride. Meron ba kayo nakikitang graph ng polynomial function dyan? Meron. Ayun. Meron tayong graph of a polynomial function. Ngayon, obserbahan natin yung graph. Ano ang behavior ng graph natin? Tama. The graph is rising to the left and falling to the right. So, falling to the right, ibig sabihin, meron siyang, anong leading coefficient natin? Pag falling to the right. So, meron siyang negative na leading coefficient. At ang degree niya ay odd. Bakit odd? Kasi, magkaiba yung behavior niya sa both ends. Meron isang rising to the left and falling naman dun sa right. So, pag magkaiba ang end behavior, laging odd. Ito naman. So, anong nakikita niyo sa larawan? Ang Mount Pamintinan at ang Mount Binakayan. So, ito sa gitna niyan, sa gitna, nandyan yung Wangwa Dam. Hindi lang nakuha sa picture, no? Pero meron ba kayong nakikitang graph ng polynomial function sa ating larawan? Yes, syempre, meron. Ayan. So, ngayon, obserbahan natin o pag-aralan yung graph ng polynomial function na nakikita natin sa larawan. Ano ang behavior? So, tayong falling to the left and sa right naman ay rising. So, therefore, the graph is falling to the left and rising to the right. So, kung meron tayong rising to the right, pag rising to the right, ano ang leading coefficient niya? Is it falling or rising? Oh, sorry. Anong leading coefficient niya? Is it negative or positive? Yes, it is. Kapag rising, always positive. So, meron tayong leading coefficient na positive and ang degree naman natin ay odd. Bakit natin masasabi na odd? Kasi ang end behavior niya ay magkaiba. Isang rising sa kabila, falling to the left and rising to the right. Okay, ito naman. Anong meron dyan? Meron tayong hanging bridge. Then, meron siyang nakita na tayo ditong support. Therefore, meron tayong graph ng polynomial function. So, anong behavior ng polynomial function natin? It is rising to the left and also rising to the right. Again, meron tayong rising to the right. Ang leading coefficient niya is positive. And both, ang direction niya ay rising to the left and rising to the right. So, therefore, meron tayong degree na even. Ito naman, familiar ba sa inyo yung larawan? Saan natin makikita to? So ito isang struktura sa may tapat ng tulay ng San Jose. Sinusuportahan niya yung daluyan ng tubig. So meron ba kayo nakikitang graph ng polynomial function dyan? Yes, of course, meron. And what is the behavior of the graph? So it is, the graph is falling to the left and also falling to the right. So kung may tayong falling to the right tayo, pag falling to the right, ang leading coefficient is always negative. And since they are both falling left and right, ang degree natin ay even. So again, but the same end behavior, it's either falling, falling, or rising, rising. Ang degree natin doon is even. Okay, suriin natin ang inyong sarili. Suriin nyo ang inyong sarili sa pamamagitan ng short quiz na ito. Tingnan nyo kung naintindihan nyo talaga. So, after nyo makita yung given, pwede nyo i-post yung video. Tapos kapag tapos na kayo, i-continue nyo para makita nyo yung sagot. So, huwag nyo agad i-continue. After na given, pag nakita yung given, post. And then, kung tapos na, pwede nang mag-continue. So, ito ang gagawin natin. Complete the table in the last column. Draw a possible graph from the function showing how the function behaved. No need to place the graph on the Cartesian plane. Doon lamang ilagay sa column. So, on the first column natin, ito yung mga given polynomial function. Second column, i-identify nyo kung ang leading coefficient ba ay positive or negative. So, kung positive, lagay nyo dyan positive. Kung negative, lagay nyo negative. Third column naman, i-identify nyo naman ay ang degree kung ito ay odd or even. Pag odd, lagay nyo odd. Kapag even, lagay nyo even. Then, dito naman sa behavior of the graph is rising or falling. Pag sa left side na is falling, lagay nyo falling. Rising, rising. Ganoon din naman sa right hand. Is it rising or falling? Kung rising, sulat rising. Kung falling, sulat ay falling. Then, possible sketch ng ating graph or possible sketch ng graph ng polynomial function. So, importante lang dito is makita kung sa left ba ay falling and sa right ba ay rising, or sa left ba ay rising and sa right ba ay falling, or both rising and falling to the left or right. So, yun lang po ang importante dito sa possible sketch. Okay. So, kung naintindihan na yung gagawin, i-post muna saglit, sagutan, then kung tapos na, ituloy ang video para malaman yung sagot. Okay. Nalaman nyo na, kung tapos na, let's continue. Ayan. Maaari na natin i-check ang inyong sagot. Maaari nyo na i-check ang inyong sagot. Maaari nyo rin i-post ang video na ito para ma-check nyo ng maayos ang inyong sagot. Kumusta ang resulta ng iyong quiz? Kung nakuha mo ng tama ang quiz na ito, congratulations! At kung hindi naman, maaari mong balikan ang ating video para mas maunawaan mo ito. Or, pwede mo naman akong i-message or i-PM sa aking messenger or sa ating GC para naman ma-assist kita nang mas maunawaan mo ang video na ito. Magpatuloy tayo. Pero bago hayaan mong tapusin ko ang lesson nito sa isang paalala. These are the graphs of a polynomial function with negative leading coefficient. So, itong dalawa. Anong papapansin natin? Ano nga kapag may negative leading coefficient? It is always rising to the right. Okay. Hayaan mong ihintulad ko ito sa isang tao o pananaw na mayroong pananaw sa buhay. So, may negative na pananaw sa buhay. For example, ikaw ay galing ka sa mataas na estado ng buhay. Kung negative yung ginagawa mo, at the end of the journey, you will come falling. Galing ka sa taas, laruin mo yung buhay mo, so babagsak ka. Kung ikaw ay negative na tao, ikaw ay isang tao na may negative na pananaw sa buhay. Ngayon, kung ikaw naman ay galing, for example, nasa baba ka, pero for example, sinuwerte ka at nakarating ka sa taas. So kung negative ka, at the end, babagsak ka pa rin. So ganun ang mga tao na may negative na pananaw sa buhay. So check naman natin yung mga graph of a polynomial function with positive leading coefficient. So kapag graph of a polynomial function with positive leading coefficient, it is always rising to the right. So, kung ikaw ay tao na may positibong pananaw sa buhay, magsimula ka man sa ilalim, at the end of the journey, ikaw ay magtatagumpay o pataas ka. Sa pangalawang litrato naman, sa larawan naman, for example, ikaw ay nagsimula ka sa matagumpay ka ng buhay, may darating minsan yung pagsubok at ikaw ay babagsak, pero at the end of the day, at the end of the journey, ikaw ay aangat at angat pa rin o tataas o magsasucceed, no? So kaya ang paalala natin, lagi kong paalala sa atin, always be positive. Pero wag sa COVID. Kaya ang isa kong papaalala is lagi tayo mag-ingat, sundin ang minimum health protocol. So maghugas palagi ng kamay, kumain ng masustansyang pagkain. Siyempre, practice social distancing. Kung lalabas, mag-face mask, mag-face shield. Kung hindi naman kailangan lumabas, stay at home na lang. Para lagi tayong safe. Again, always be positive but not in COVID. Stay safe po. Pinapakita ng graph na ito ang mabilis na pagtaas at patuloy na pagdami ng confirmed COVID-19 cases sa Pilipinas. Kaya gawin po natin ang nararapat, gawin natin para makaiwas sa COVID-19. Let us stop COVID-19. Stay safe po tayo.